Welcome to Math with Mrs. Cox. We're on Chapter 8, Lesson 8, page 599 in your math book. We are writing fractions as decimal. Remember, you need to make the denominator equivalent to either a 10 or 100 to make it work for you. Let's begin. Write each fraction as a decimal. So, 1, I need to choose a different color. 1/2 can be written with a tenth as an equivalent fraction. So 2 will go into 10 5 times. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. 1 times 5 is 5. So we have 5 in the 10th spot. So we would write 0 in the whole number and 5 in the 10th spot. Okay, 11/20 gets a little trickier because we need to convert that to an equivalent fraction of 100. How many 20s are in 100? There are 5. Whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. 11 times 5 is 55. So 55 is going to be in the hundredths position. So we have a 0 in the ones, the whole number, a 55. This is tenths and hundredths, 55 hundredths. Okay, we have 13/20. The equivalent fraction would be 100. Again, it'll go into that 5 times by 5. So 13 times 5, 65. So we have 65 hundredths. There's the whole number. 65 hundredths, because that goes in the hundredths position. 6 tenths. Oh, I like it when they're like this. 0 in the whole number position, 6 in the tenths position. 13/25, equivalent probably to 100. There are 4 quarters and $1. So we need to times 13 times 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 52 hundredths. So 0 in the whole number position, 52 hundredths. Then we have 14/20, 100. There are 5 of them. So we're going to take 14 times 5 would be 20. 5, 6, 7, 70. 70 hundredths would be written. The 0 in the whole number spot, 70 hundredths. Courtney hit the bullseye 3/5 the time playing darts. Write 3/5 as a decimal. Well, we can convert 5 to a tenth or a hundredth, but it'd be a little easier to do it to a tenth. So there are 2 5s and a 10. So we times the top number by 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 is going to go in the tenths position. There's our whole number position, and 6 is in the tenths position. Use number sense. Yesterday it rained 9/20 of an inch. Write it as a decimal. Our equivalent fraction will have 100. There's 5 of them in that. 9 times 5 is 45. So we need to write 45 hundredths as a decimal. That's our whole number position, and 45 hundredths is written as a decimal. Number 9. Camilla shaded 18/30 of a model. Write the decimal that represents the unshaded portion of the model. Okay, so the unshaded portion. So 30/30 would be the whole thing shaded. She shaded 18, so we're going to take 18 from 30. So 8 from 10 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So there's going to be 12 30ths that is left. And we're going to write that as a decimal. I'm looking at that, and I can simplify 12 30ths. Let's see. The unshaded portion. I can take 12 30ths, and let's simplify it. So I know that 4 will go into 12. Let's see, 3 will go into 12 4 times. It would be 4, and 3 will go into that 10 times. Oh, that makes it nice because then I can see that 4 is in the 10th spot. So 4 is in the 10th spot. Paulo missed 3 out of 15. So the fraction is going to look like this. Write the fraction of questions Paulo answered correctly as a decimal. So if there was this many questions on a test, we have 15 minus 3 would equal 12 out of 15 is what he answered correctly. So we can turn that into a decimal, but we need to simplify this first. So 3 will go into both of these. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now we can move that into a decimal point. So 4/5, we can find an equivalent decimal in tenths. So 5 will go into 10 2 times. So 4 times 2 is 8. So it would be 8/10 were correct. Rashawn needs to sell at least 3/10 of his collection of sport cards to make room for new cards. Is 3/20 of his collection enough? So let's see what we have here. We have 3/10 is what this looks like as a decimal, and to make room for that. So let's make it equivalent. 3/20 would have to do it over 100. That would be times 5 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Oh no, it's not going to be, because 15 hundredths looks like this. 0.15 hundredths is less than 0.3 tenths. Now I know you're looking at that going, Mrs. Cox, 15's more than 3. But if you think about it in numbers of cents and money, this is like 15 cents and this is like 30 cents. Now do you see why 0.15 is less than 0.30? This is like saying 15 over 100 and 30 over 100. Yes, 15 cents is less than 30 cents. So the answer is no. It will not have enough room. Test practiced. Amelia bought 9/12 of a pound of sliced salami at the deli county. Which of the following decimals did the scale show? So 9/12. We can simplify 9/12 down because we can divide both numbers by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. Now we can take that simplified fraction and we can find an equivalent fraction. I know 100 will be very equivalent. 25 will go into it. 3 times 25 is 75. So we're going to find 75 in the hundredths position. So there's the whole number. 75 in the hundredths position is D.